Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the day trades recap for August 12th. Day trades recap for everybody. August 12th. Welcome to the so I hope you guys had a wonderful trading day today. Excited to present our trade that's the trades that we took today. Today was an interesting trading day after we got the CPI inflation data. So without much ado, I'll just go into the charts here and show you guys how the trades worked out today, which one worked out, which ones did not work out, and what are the key lessons or take-home messages that you guys can take home and use and apply in your next trading tomorrow or in the days and weeks ahead. Okay. So my name is Richard J, and I'm with Trading Rich, head trader here at Trading Rich, and I'm going to be showing you guys the trades that we took today. Very interesting trading day. All right. Okay. So this morning, going into the market open, I told members that today was going to be a day of like today was going to be a day of pull back and go, right? Pull back and go. So in our live trading session, I told members the game plan for today for SPY and QQQ was pull back and go, right? So the trade idea was, so if I go into the trade plan or the trade idea that we had today, what happened today? So today we got CPI inflation data, and when the data came, it confirmed that inflation came in lighter than expected. So I'll go to the Market Watch website to show you guys what happened today. So today's Tuesday, and the CPI number that was being, so this was the call year over year. So the call year over year was the forecast was 3.1%, and the actual number, it came in line at 3.1%, right? The previous one was 2.9%. Okay. And then what caused the market to shoot up was that the CPI year over year, right? Year over year, the the median forecast was 2.8, and it came in at 2.7, right? Which means that inflation came in lighter than expected, right? So if inflation came in lighter than expected, what this meant was that the meaning of this is that it means that the Fed is winning the inflation fighting race, right? The inflation fighting battle, right? Because the reason why the Fed hasn't cut interest rate till now is that they were waiting to see how the impacts of Trump's tariffs were going to affect inflation. But so far, the Fed cannot make that argument based on this CPI print, because what it shows is that after all the tariffs and all that stuff, the CPI is showing us that CPI is going down. Actually, it's not going up. So if CPI is going down, the reason why we have high interest rates in the first place is that was to fight inflation, right? So if inflation is going down, then the Fed has no choice than to what? Cut interest rate in September, right? So based on the probabilities, it now shows that we have a high probability for us to have an interest rate cut in September. So if you look at it here, if we go to the Fed Watch 2, the Fed Watch 2 here, I presented in yesterday in the trade recap. So the Fed Watch 2, this is the tool that most investors and traders use to figure out what's the probability of the Fed cutting interest rate or increasing interest rate depending on the rate cutting or rate increase cycle. So let's wait for it to load here. So based on this data, this was a positive data for the market, because the market has been waiting for good news on the inflation front to confirm rate cuts in September. And then we got it. Okay. So over here, this site is taking a long time to load. Let's see here. Yeah, okay. So yesterday when we did the live recap, it was 80 something percent. Today it has gone up to 94.3%. So this is more or less certain that there's going to be a rate cut in September. Okay. And over here, if you can see it here, you can see that the Fed, based on this, the probabilities is showing that there's going to be a rate cut in September. Okay. So with that in mind, this was when the CPI news was announced, and it caused like this big rally. Okay. So at pre-market, we already saw that the SPY and the QQQ, all the indices were all up, all the ETFs were all up, and because the market liked that data. That data was a positive data that caused the market to rally. Okay. So coming into the market here today, what I told members of Rich Day Trades was that Rich Day Trade Service was that I told them that today was a day where, because we had that positive CPI number, we were going to look for a pullback and go. So the summary or the key message for today's trading plan was pull back and go, right? Pull back and go. So here we had the all-time high levels, which was close to pre-market high. So it was somewhere here. This was the all-time high. So I had marked it in red, the all-time highs. And then we went through this chart here. So we had this trend line. So this trend line was from April 30th. It hit it here on April 30th. It touched here on June 23rd. And then when you extend it, it comes all the way here, right? And then we had another one, which was a weekly trend line here. So this was touched the bull market highs of 2021, and then the bull market highs of 2024. That is when President Biden was president. And then if you extend that, it comes here. So the intersection of these two here, I told members that if this was to come to this area, we're going to get it's going to be like a jam, right? It's going to be a place of jam where it's going to be difficult for it to break. However, if it breaks, we are going to get a candle, a bullish engulfing candle similar to the size of this one, because this is a bearish engulfing candle. So we are going to get a long bullish engulfing candle. And here we had this very strong candle here show up today at the daily, right? It's not quite a bullish engulfing candle, but you understand what I mean. So yeah, so going into the day, go back to the intraday here. The game plan, I'll go through the game plan quickly, and then I'll show you what we did, show you guys what we did here. So at pre-market, they got this. This was the news. And then at pre-market, during our game plan, I told members that at the open, what I was looking for was I'm looking for a pullback, right? So the game plan for today was pull back and go, right? So the pullback was, so this is the 5 minutes time frame. I was expecting price to, my game plan was let's pull back into the 50 EMA. So this is the moving average 50. If we pull back there, then I expect price to hold, and then we are going to bounce there. Alternatively, if at the market open, so at pre-market where we pulled back a little bit to the 20, and then what happened at the open, it just popped, right? It just popped up. If at the open, the first directional move is to the upside, we were going to short this here for a quick scalp, right? So the scalp is going to be, we are going to take, so it's going to be a counter trend trade where we are going to target from wherever it was, which was like a double top here. So here, this formed a double top more or less, like this top here on the left, top here on the right. And that pop, we were expecting a reversal, and then we got that reversal here. So this was a quick scalp. So I told members that any shots today is going to be a quick scalp. So you go in and out. So if you're not a good scalper, you don't scalp, right? So this year, I scalped this from here to here, targeting the 50 EMA on the 5 minutes, and we did just that. So from here, this area here to this place, this was $2.85 move. That was a lot. That was a big move, right? To the downside, right? So my main trade of the day, based on my trade plan, our trade plan was that to hold this 50. Okay. And at the same time, I was watching the QQQ. The QQQ was weaker than SPY today. So when we day trading, we typically watch both SPY and QQQ to see what they are doing. And within the first few minutes of the market open, or even at pre-market, we are able to detect which one of them is the leading, and which one is the leading ETF, and which one is the lagging one, right? So right up from the get-go, I told members that um, SPY was the leading one, and then QQQ was the lagging one. So what it meant was that we can use information from SPY. It's like, it's interesting. The name is SPY. We can use the information from SPY, and then use that to trade QQQ easily, right? Because at the end of the day, these two indices, they end up in the same location, right? So picture it this way. Let's say you and your friend or your family friend are traveling to going on a road trip to a new city, or a city nearby. And obviously, if you are going on the highway, one person is going to lead the other, right? But at the end of the day, you guys what end up in the same location. So that's what often happens with SPY and QQQ. So as a trader, you should be able to watch this and monitor it and know which one is leading and which one is lagging, right? And then you can use the one that is leading to trade the one that is lagging, because at the end of the day, they will end up in the same location. So that's a trick I'm showing you guys, right? I'm giving you guys this information for free, just so that you can trade SPY and QQQ easily, right? With this information and golden nugget, right? And you can use the same thing to trade the ES futures, and then the NQ futures as well. Okay, so here what we did for SPY was that we got this move, so entered in quick shot, in, out, so paid myself, right? And then I waited for this to confirm that we are holding the 50 EMA on the 5 minutes. So typically what we do is that in any trade, we look at it from the standpoint of, are we in an uptrend or are we in a downtrend, right? So we use the 50 EMA on the 5 minutes to tell us if something is in an uptrend or in a downtrend, right? So as long as we held the 50 EMA, it meant that this uptrend on SPY still held, right? So the uptrend was still there. So all we need to do was to wait for you to get a confirmation for you to enter, right? So you see here that none of the 5 minutes candles close below the 50 EMA here, meaning that this uptrend is still valid. Okay. Yeah. So took an entry here. So I alerted this to members live in our day trading room. I told members that, okay, guys, if SPY holds the 50 as per trade plan, we are going to go long. So we took the call options here. This was six. So we took the 638 calls, expiring. Some took expiring tomorrow. Some took the ones expiring today. So I took the one expiring today. This was a 0DT trade. So this was a low risk trade for me. So basically, what I did was that you enter the trade here, and then you put your stop below this candle, because this candle is the main candle here. If price came and broke below this candle, closed below the 50 EMA, and this bottom of this candle will be out of the trade, will take a loss, which is in our trading system, it's called a professional loss, because that's a loss that was already planned already. So it's not something that you are just doing out of the blue, right? So here we took the trade, and then once you took the trade here, put the stop here, this thing rallied all the way here, right? And when it got here, so I told members that, okay, once we get this push, right? once you are getting to this area, you have to start taking profit off the table. And then once you take profit off the table, leave some runners to run, right? Leave some runners, meaning that if you bought like 10 contracts of the SPY options, you sell um you sell 8 of them or you sell 7 of them and leave 3 of them to run, because those runners can give you exponential gains. So this pushed up, got to this area, cracked through all the trend lines, and then went up and closed here at a new all-time highs, right? So this was a fantastic trade. And this trade, this is the result here. So with the SPY trade, SPY trade went, this is the SPY trade. So this was SPY 638 calls. So if you look at this, SPY 638 calls over here, expiring today. And that produced a gain of 285%, right? So what this means is that if you put in $1,000 in this trade, you made a profit of 2,800 or more green profit, right? That's your return on investment. Okay. Yeah. So here, so this was almost 3x return on your investment if you put in if you took this trade. Then the other one was, so as I was saying, we're using SPY and QQQ, trading them together side by side. We know that they will all end up in the same location or the same destination. So we were just using one to trade the other. So when for this one, this was showing relative strength in the sense that you saw that this one here did not break below the 50, but the QQQ, if you look at QQQ, you see my QQQ here, QQQ here broke below the 50, right? And it came where? It came here to, in our trading strategy, this is called a demand zone, right? A demand zone. And what did he put in here? He put in one of our favorite candles, or one of our favorite events, trading events, right? Which is a bottoming tail candle, right? So this bottoming tail candle, put in this bottoming tail candle. At the same time, SPY was bouncing at the 50 EMA at the same time. So if you look at this time, look at the time. This is, let me put them side by side, right? Put them side by side to make it easier to see. So if you look at this, so this is 10:05, 5 minutes past 10, right? SPY was bouncing at the 50. QQQ was bouncing here at the pre-market low. So it was a straightforward trade. So this was leading. So once this confirmed, we enter this one as well. And then here we got one of our favorite events, right? We have a number of events that we trade in our day trading system. This was one of them. So here we took the trade here, we put our stop here. So our stop is break of pre-market low, right? Break of pre-market low, meaning the main event is the candle, right? If you miss the event, you miss the trade. That means that we take a loss, a professional loss, right? Which was a very low risk trade. So, and this went all the way to where? New all-time highs. And this was this trade, the strike price that we took here was QQQ 575 calls. So here it is. So this is QQQ here 575 calls, and this returned 259% profit. So basically what this means is that if you put in $1,000 in the trade, you made 2,500 plus in profits. Okay, right? So this is like 2.5x or 2.6x approximately return. So that was the trade that we took. So you see here, so the lesson here is that you can trade SPY and QQQ together. Just note anytime you're trading, note which one is leading and which one is the lagging, right? Which one is the leading ETF and which one is the lagging ETF, right? So the leading ETF today was SPY and the lagging one was QQQ. But just note that the two indices end up in the same destination. What did you do? What does that mean? You see that these two all ended up here at new all-time highs. This ended up here up on new all-time highs. Okay. All right. So after without, there were other trades that we also took as well that also triggered based on our trade plan. One of them was this was an interesting one, right? This one here, we were targeting Tesla, right? one of our main watch was Tesla today, but Tesla did not do what we were waiting for it to do. So I did not take this trade because it did not trigger what I was looking for. What it did not work out. So I did not take this trade. But I told members that what to do, and I guided them to take this trade here. So at the open, we got, because this was a CPI, this was a CPI print news. It caused all indices and all ETFs and all like stocks to rise. Everything was rallying, everything was happy, right? So at pre-market, we were putting in what here looks like what is called a bull flag, right? So a bull flag, always look at a bull flag as this. So you have here, it's like something in a right angle triangle, right? So you have your pole, and then you have your flag like this, right? So you have a bull flag. So usually it's in a right angle triangle, right? Right angle triangle. So here, something like a 90-degree angle kind of thing, right? So you have it here like that, 90-degree angle. So this is your bull flag. So we were forming a bull flag at pre-market, right? So this shaded area is pre-market action. So I was telling members that, hey, if Tesla at the open is able to break out of this pre-market high, because this is a pre-market high level, then I'm going to look to go long. I'm going to get 350 calls expiring this Friday, because this is a day trade. We are not holding it for long. So it's expiring this Friday, and we're going to target this area. We're going to target this area here. First profit target is going to be 346. Second profit target 349. Third profit target, this weekly level 356, right? And then, however, if this does not work, right, and we break below this area, this one, 342.19, right, and we break below it, then we are going to look to go short, okay? Because once we go short, because when this comes back, is going to break through this and go down, right? So the call trade did not work, the long trade did not work, but the put trade worked out brilliantly, right? So here, once we broke through this key level, 342 19, once we broke through this level, I told members that those that took the trade, I guided them to take this puts to go down, right? So this was from here. If you look at this, it's from here. So this was more than a 10-point, like almost a 10-point move, right? Put to the downside, right? So members caught this, and they were green in this trade, right? The long did not trigger, but the short trigger. So anytime we go into a trade at in our day trading room, we always have a long and short trade plan. We go in with a neutral game plan and then execute which one triggers first. So in this way, this you don't have any kind of bias towards like a long or a short, right? So this here, the long did not trigger, the short triggered, right? And then from there we bottomed out. So the in terms of the quick move, or what I quote unquote, lack of a better word, the easy money was here. The easy money was a short, not this one. This was just a grinding, frustrating long, right? So yeah, so members caught this move to the downside. It was a beautiful, beautiful trade, and most of them were done with this trade by 10:15 a.m. Fantastic. All right. Okay. So the other one that we were looking at in our trade plan was AFRM. So AFRM is an interest rate sensitive stock. And if inflation is going down, that means that they're going to cut interest rate, and these stocks are going to benefit as a result, right? So at the open, at pre-market, you saw this big, big candle, right? Look at that. Look at this on AFRM. That's a 4-point move in AFRM, which is 5% in just a small period of time. But what did you do? We got this wick to the downside, right? This is telling us that this is not healthy. It might look to sell soon. Okay. So at the open, we were looking to go long on this. We were looking for a long on this. So right out the gates there, this popped. We captured the move, but it collapsed, right? So here I told members that, you know what? We have to follow the trade plan. So the trade plan was that this year was our main event, and our stop was going to be here, right? If this comes and breaks this and wipes out this, then you can exit the trade for a loss, right? Which is like a professional loss. Okay. So here, this here, if you look at the 5 minutes, this was holding the 50 EMA on the 5 minutes. So as long as we didn't break below the 50 EMA on the 5 minutes, this trade was still valid, right? So what I told members was that, so that those that entered here, this was red for most part. And I told them, hey, hold on to the trade. Don't worry about it. If this can hold the 50 EMA, I think that we are going to get some kind of recovery later on the day, right? And lo and behold, we got that recovery. So I even told members that if we're able to gap up above here and come somewhere here, I was going to add to my position because to correct the average, right? I usually don't average into a losing trade, but this was still in an uptrend, right? So meaning that the trade was still valid. So I added into my position when it gapped up here above the VWAP at the time. The VWAP has rise now, and this was able to form what looks like a cup and handle here, a cup and handle. This might perhaps do well tomorrow in the morning. We shall see how this plays out tomorrow. Most likely tomorrow, this is going to break 78, 74, which was the pre-market high. So yeah, so this one I held it throughout the day and added to my position, and this produced this affirm trade ended up producing netting me 139%. So this is equivalent to 1.4x. So if you put in $1,000, you made 1,400 profits in this trade, right? With our firm. So this eventually worked out and we're able to turn a red trade to green, right? Because we followed our rules and we followed the trade plan. Okay. Another one that we had in mind was that was also traded today, that was presented in the game plan was lemonade. So with lemonade at the open, um it was showing promise that it was going to go, it was going to rally. The reason was that this trade here, the game plan on this was strictly along, right? The reason why this was strictly along was that if you look at this closely, you are going to see that this here, this is so this how lemonade looks like. So this has formed this here, something looking like a cup and handle kind of thing. And then here, what we're looking for is that, so here, this is a flagpole, right? And this was a bull flag. So here, we're looking for this bull flag to break out, right? That was the trade plan. And these were the levels. 50, 94, 98 was a key level. And then the top end of the bull flag was 53.06, right? That was the top end of the bull flag. So what happened here was that this stuff here at the open, it, at the open, it tried to pop, but it collapsed, right? And then this was this was what we call like red wiped out green, and then it's sort of okay. So here, our initial entry was for it to hold here, but I did not hold. So again, I told members, listen, this is not holding, it's breaking the key level and it's trading below the 50 EMA. So exit the trade for a small loss. And then here, I set an alert on my chart here, EC2000, that if price is to come here, this 50.98 and holds it, we are going to go long and get a reversal trade. And boy, oh boy, this thing worked out really nicely, right? It held this area, took a trade, took the $55 calls at around this area here, at around 10:30, took the trade here, put the stop below this key level. So this was a break wall support, right? And this also was coinciding with the 5 EMA, 5 EMA here, or here, 5 EMA. See, this is the blue line, thick blue line. That blue line was a 5 EMA, which is also a break wall. So you have a number of break walls. And then this was the high of this day, and then it came here and it held, and also it held the 5 EMA as well. So this one was like a key area where I was watching. And once that alert triggered, I took the trade here, and then this rocketed up. Like this was like a rocket ship. It was crazy. This did 10% move in a short period of time. So this trade worked out nicely. And this was the lemonade trade. This worked out 150% in that short period of time. So what this meant is that if you put in $1,000, you made 1,500 profits, right? Yeah. So all the trades, like all these trades that we took today, so the most important thing is about the lessons learned, right? So a lesson learned here today is that for SPY and QQQ is that what you have to know is that at the end of the day, they all end up in the same destination, right? And also, we also have to learn about the power and the magic of the 50 EMA on the 5 minutes, right? That is like a golden nugget right there. So if your stock hasn't broken the 50 EMA on the 5 minutes, depending on where it's trading, whether it's in an uptrend or a downtrend, you have to hold on to the trade. The trade will eventually work out. So that's what happened here today. And all the trades eventually worked out. All of them did not work out at the same time. Some worked out late, some worked out later. So at the end of the day, you just have to. So the lesson here is that you always have to trade your trade plan and be patient, right? Patience pays in this market, right? You want to be patient and you have to respect your technicals and trade them accordingly, right? So this is this I hope this helped you guys. I hope you guys learned something from this trade recaps we are doing here. So if I'm doing here, so anytime, so make sure you watch this, take some notes, and make sure you start implementing it the next day when you see something like that happen in your trade, so that you can implement it and uh, make profits from it. And also note that at the end of the day, what you have to know is that stick to your trade plan, either win, loss, or draw. That's the key thing in trading. If you can do that, you are going to be a consistently profitable trader. Once again, stick to your trade plan, win, loss, or draw. You don't change your trade plan in the middle of the game when things are not going your way. What does your trade plan say? A good trade plan has to have an entry area or entry target, entry price. It must have, most importantly, it must have a stop loss where you are going to stop out of the trade if it doesn't work out. And also it has to have profit targets, right? Where you are going to take profit. So you can have profit target number 1, profit target number 2, profit target number 3, right? Yeah. So these are some of the key things that you need to know as a trader to become a successful trader. So if you want to trade with us live every day, you can go to our website. Our website is tradingrate.com. You click on the courses, then you come here, you click on live day trading, right? So live day trading, you can trade with me live 5 days a week. We trade both options and futures. So we trade the NQ, ES, guys trade gold, oil, other tickets, right? We trade SPY options, QQQ options, Tesla, and all that good stuff, right? So we trade all these things in the in the live day trading session. So just make sure that, so if you want to sign up, you click here, you sign up, and then you can join us in trading every day. So every day we start the live day trading session at 8:45 a.m. Eastern. We go through the game plan, we go through the futures game plan, we also go through the options trading game plan, and everybody is ready to go, ready to rumble at 9:30 a.m. Eastern. When the opening bell goes up, we are already ready to execute, right? Yeah. So if you like this video, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit your notification bell so that anytime I post this, anytime I go live, you can join me live here and watch and learn. So the purpose of these recaps is for educational purposes, not financial advice. Okay. All right. So yeah. So have a good night, guys. I wish you guys all the best tomorrow. In the tomorrow's trading sessions. And those that are trading with us, we shall trade in the live trading room tomorrow at 8:45 a.m. sharp. All the best. Have a great week. Bye bye. Bye for now.